Thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Economic Development, Tourism and Event Management Committee meeting for Wednesday, July the 2nd. I'm going to call the meeting to order and I need an approval of our agenda. We'll move that by Councillor Ramsey, second by the Mayor. Any declarations of conflict of interest?
Chair, just on the agenda, I spoke to our Economic Development Department about the parking ticket forgiveness program. Can I just add that just to get an update? Is that all right? I'll provide an update on it. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam
For
Chair.
that. Okay. So I'm not seeing any declarations of conflict. Could I have approval of our minutes from June 20th? Moved and seconded. Great. Any business arising from those minutes?
None at all.
See none. We'll move right into reports, and Wayne Long will provide the economic development update.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I just have a few quick points under economic development. The first one is actually related to the Mayor's inquiry about parking initiative program. You may recall the Mayor brought an item up at last month's meeting. Also during last month's meeting, Councillor Tweel had requested that we do a scan of the Atlantic jurisdiction with respect to other parking initiatives within the region. So both Downtown Charlottetown Inc. as well as our summer engineering student within within Public Works are currently doing an analysis of the region. They've commenced that process. I know that our executive support, Cindy McMillan, checked in with both of those organizations in the last few days. And while the work has commenced and underway, it's not complete at this point in time. It's challenging in the summer months with holidays and people on the move. So we hope to report back in the near future. And then once we have that information, we would determine what would be the best initiative to look at launching. And also I would add, in speaking with Downtown Charlottetown Inc., it's likely best perhaps to launch such an initiative early on in the fall, so in September sometime, and that would be a decision of the committee, but that's just some general comments. So once we have that information, we'll bring it back to the committee. Your Worship, did you have any more comments or questions related to that?
Did you want me to wait until the end of your report?
Your decision.
Okay. Madam Chair, I'm just looking at the Halifax website, City of Halifax, and they just have the parameters for their program, and I think it's standardized in other communities that have this this program in place. And I agree with Wayne, Madam Chair, that if we're looking at not launching it, it would be best to launch it in the fall, like early fall, try it out for a couple of months and just work out any kinks or work out any of the issues that may arise from first trial. But appreciate that we're looking into it. And Madam Chair, just as you said, I believe at the June meeting of the regular meeting of council, we have several departments working on this. I think there's Public Works, there's Police and Emergency Services, and then there's the this standing committee, because Wayne, is it correct that it's under economic development because parking strategy falls under the terms of references?
The parking strategy itself would fall under Public Works, but parking rates and incentive programs would fall under economic development, Your Worship.
So it's a collaboration of several departments, and I believe Don Allen through DCI has initiated this parking committee. So that's being discussed there. And I think there's lots of good work happening, and it's all a plus for the city. And you know yourself, Wayne, how many times, and you too, Madam Chair, and also Councillor Ramsey, that when this COVID pandemic started, we had downtown businesses talking about no increases in parking meters, suspending any parking fines. We've covered all those areas. I think this is a step going down that line, or that path forward. So it's all good news, and I appreciate the work we're doing. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And I think it is important to make sure that we look at all things and how we can best apply it to our city and our needs, because we do know that parking is a revenue for the city. So it's a matter of making sure that we're hearing the businesses in downtown Charlottetown and working collaboratively with everyone. So the committee works great. Thanks for that, Wayne. Carry on.
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple more items. Been working with a couple of newcomer immigrant type of businesses who are looking to open up operations in the downtown. The mayor had the opportunity this afternoon to meet one of those individuals, an individual who relocated to Charlottetown from Zimbabwe 5 years ago, came as an international student and has decided to make Charlottetown his home. So he's looking at a tourism product, as well as working at another individual who has a business in the city but looking to expand perhaps his footprint as well. So some good things happening there. We continue to work closely with URSA. URSA presented recently to this committee, and one of their reports was talking about some of the impacts and things they learned from the pandemic, and they're holding some public meetings now with respect to various organizations, and we'll connect with them on a more formal basis this coming fall with respect to creating a committee. We talked about it at this level as we move into the fall. As you well know, work is underway on the strategic plan and the official plan. We've been working closely as well with both of those items. Just recently, we had some dialogue around the economic status of our city and data that would flow with that for the official plan. So working with some economists at the province who was able to flow data to the organizations, the consultants that have been leading those particular files. And then the mayor recently met with the Medical Society of Prince Edward Island with respect to how the city can work more collaboratively and supportively of the efforts of the recruitment of new physicians and medical professionals to our city. It's something that we're definitely interested in. Our team is going to be meeting with Dr. Megan and her team here in the very near future with respect to how we can do so. There's some proposed concepts and ideas, so we'll bring that back to the committee as we progress on that particular file and support their efforts. The YYG Charlottetown shuttle that the committee agreed to support last month has now been launched and underway and helping to create a more clean and available system with respect to shuttle transportation to downtown hotels. So that is working nicely so far. And the other item I have under economic development will come up a bit later, and that's the Charlottetown Islanders Agreement.
Thank you for your report. Is there any questions at this time?
Madam Chair, just to follow up, Dr. Megan Miller, I think you know Dr. Megan Miller, and Rebecca Gill were here a couple of weeks ago, as Wayne mentioned. Excellent meeting. There is a conference, I believe, coming up in September or October, Wayne?
In the later fall, I think it's November, Your Worship, in Toronto.
Yeah.
I don't have
So
the date in
they've
front of me,
invited
but-
us to attend along with Summerside to promote Charlottetown as a place to come to work, live, and play. And it would be a great venue to showcase the city of Charlottetown and all that it has to offer. I think I heard on the news last night another doctor has left us, is completely getting out of the medical system. So the stresses are just going up, up, up. And I think we're now at, 23,000, 24,000 patients without doctors. Nova Scotia reported last week 100,000 patients without doctors, and the same week last week BC's at 1 million patients without doctors. So we're at the bottom, but look at our population, it's a crisis situation. So I think this is a good step forward. And Wayne, I'd like to thank Dr. Megan Miller and Rebecca Gill for reaching out to ask the city, look, help us promote Charlottetown as a place to work, live, work, and play. Thank you.
It's come to a time where you need to be, I mean, as everyone knows, it's the responsibility of the provincial government to play in this space, but now you need strategic partnerships to collaborate and be more visionary in your approach. So there's likely an on-ramp for us, and we'll have those discussions.
Great news. Thank you. I'm one of those without a family doctor, so I need a family doctor. Do a good job. Laura Lee, we're going to have an update on tourism and culture.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Summer is in full swing in the tourism department. Festival Inspire arrived in the city on Sunday, and they're making quick work of transforming 3 properties in the downtown core with incredible works of art. Our muralists, Ilko, Mr. Piro, and June Kim, have been sharing highlights of their progress in Charlottetown across their social media, and collectively they have over 76,000 followers on Instagram around the world. So we are definitely being showcased to the world through their pages right now. I encourage everybody in the room to get out over the next few days and watch the murals take shape. The programming that's running adjacent to the mural creation itself starts today. So it included interviews with the artists at their respective walls. So the murals are at 89 Kent Street, which is Fire Station number 1. It's at 151 Great George Street, which is on the corner of Great George and Kent Streets, and then 64 King Street, which is the main entrance to City Cinema. So if you're in the downtown, take a quick walk around and have a chat with some of the artists. There's also going to be an industry mixer and some musical entertainment at the Salvador Dali Cafe. They're hosting a dance party with DJ Bones, Derb, and DJ Lex at Baba's Lounge later in the week. There's musical entertainment and performances by Maritime Marionettes and Luminosity Circus on Victoria Row. And we also are running a muralist training program and workshop for some of our local artists on Saturday. So an opportunity to have them participate with these international artists and learn from some of the best. I would certainly be remiss if I didn't thank our partners on the project who are helping us add more public art to the city. So Innovation PEI, Thai Pies Reanimate Our Island Fund, Charlottetown Special Events Reserve Fund, and Downtown Charlottetown Inc. On the civic event front, Canada Day celebrations were a resounding success. We returned the event to Victoria Park for the first time since 2019. Pretty sure everyone in the room is aware that I did test positive for COVID the night before we started setup. So I didn't get to enjoy all the fruits of our planning labor, but I do have to acknowledge and give praise to Charlotte officially on the record. She certainly stepped up to the plate to lead the event. Wayne unexpectedly assumed a full-time event role that day, and then Stephanie Turner, who presented at our meeting last month from Event Atlantic, also stepped in to fill some shoes that day. We made a lot of progress this year with Alnaway, and we do hope that the interview series that we created this year with them, Understanding Our Past, Reconciling Our Future, is something that will continue into the future. It was really well received, and I think it's a really great educational opportunity, obviously, and is very relevant to the times and will be as we go forward through our reconciliation efforts. Planning for Natal Day weekend celebrations has kicked into high gear, and our programming announcement is planned for later this week. Since we last met, we did receive confirmation that we were successful in getting federal funding through Canadian Heritage's Reopening Fund. So we've been working quickly to implement some elevated programming over what we would traditionally see, and that's on top of the already enhanced schedule that we had with the Steel Timber Sports Canadian Championships and Canadian Champions Trophy, which are happening in conjunction with Natal Day this year. So those celebrations will kick off next Friday, July 29th, and will run through next weekend. And we're also in tandem at the same time working on our final civic event for the summer season, which is Cinema Under the Stars. So outdoor movie screenings will return to the Victoria Park Cultural Pavilion September 1st to 3rd, and there'll be an announcement next month on what those titles actually are. We had the pleasure of welcoming national judges with Communities in Bloom, so Berta Briggs from Alberta and Larry Hall from Saskatchewan last week. Again, kudos goes out to Charlotte for planning a really interactive and immersive experience for those judges while they were here, and also to all city departments. Everyone participated in making sure that we really had Charlottetown shining, and we will learn the outcome of our evaluation in October at the 2022 Communities in Bloom Symposium, which is in Victoria. Make Our Hometown Beautiful will be returning this year, so nominations will open publicly just after Natal Day, so in early August. And it's hard to believe, but we're less than a month to the Gold Cup Parade. This year's parade theme is celebrating parades of the past, present, and tomorrow, 60 years of the Gold Cup Parade. So Parade Chair Ray Murphy is going to serve as the Grand Marshal. And Marvel's Spider-Man, Black Widow, and Black Panther are the featured children's entertainers. Float applications close on August 1st, and I understand that interest has been the highest it's been in years. So I think that people are hoping to see the regular parade back on the streets of Charlottetown next month. And then, unfortunately, despite our best intentions, I am confirming that we do have to postpone our student exchange to Ashibetsu again. Japan's borders haven't yet reopened to tourism, and with the exchange planned for the end of September. It's just too uncertain of a situation to be able to commit to taking kids over there and booking flights, etc. So we are actively working with our colleagues in Japan to see if we could postpone it to the spring. We don't normally go in the spring, it's usually a fall experience, but the intention would be that we do still want to welcome a group from Japan next fall, as it is the 30th anniversary of the partnership. We're looking to dedicate the cherry tree pathway that we planted last year. So we'll just see what happens over the fall and winter with COVID and what changes in terms of restrictions and access to Japan, but see where things go. And that's everything that I have for today.
Mother, you've been busy, and thank you very much. It's great to hear what partnership the whole department is coming together to make really great things happen. Is there any questions for Laurel at this time on any events? It's a really great job. Thank you. We'll move to event management update with Wayne.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few highlights in this area as well. Again, don't want to sound repetitive, but on the strategic plan, official plan side of things, we've also been working on the tourism side with respect to presenting data that is required for both of those strategies, as well as other support inventory of information that is required to uplift with respect to that. Obviously, we're having collective group management meetings, but there's also individual sessions, one-on-one, so we're having lots of those calls as well on our side. I've been out on a couple of economic development missions in Quebec City, Montreal, and Ottawa. Lots of great things happening on those fronts. Canada Games front continues to be quite busy. Most recently, we participated in the Sponsor Summit. It was in Summerside, and then this fall, Charlottetown will host a sponsored summit as part of the Canada Games. So all of their local sponsors, as well as their national, come together with respect to an overarching educational view of the games, a high-level lens of the games, as well as how to activate and best capitalize on your investment with respect to the games. And then the games also hosted a golf tournament just recently. We had teams participating in the event, but also we're a sponsor of one of the holes at the event itself. So we had an activation on site there where participants received sustainable eating utensils, so fork, knives, bottle opener, etc. Quite convenient to put in a golf bag, especially the bottle opener. And we gave away some chocolates that had the Charlottetown logo on it, etc. So a good activation on site there. And I mentioned at last meeting, we hope to have an announcement soon with the Canada Games folks on a 150-day countdown event out to the games. I think someone had mentioned to me today we're just 211 days out. Believe it or not, time moves quite quickly. We are very, very busy. You heard some of it from Laura with respect to summer events. Lots happening. In fact, it's very intense right now, but lots of events, lots of meetings and conventions happening in the city as well. I'm not going to list them all, but I will highlight right now 3 events that are happening this week or will be happening. It's Pride Week, so don't forget the Pride Parade is on Saturday. There's expected to be a good turnout for that particular event. Laurel mentioned the Inspire Festival, and we're also hosting the National Archery Outdoor Championship right now currently, and it'll be some of the activity will be at UPEI in the center of the athletics venue. So lots happening on that front. A couple of FAM tours. Again, meetings and conventions, PEI's had a second FAM tour, this time in the international incentive travel side, and ourselves in our department will have a FAM with Tribute Experiential on the sport tourism and event cultural side of things in early August. The infrastructure projects at both Eastlink Center and Bell Alliance Center, while they fall directly under finance, I've kept this committee up to date as I'm the liaison to both of those committees and heavily involved with a number of the projects, but also because they're very much event related and will help us capitalize on the event market moving forward. At some point in the near future, perhaps, Your Worship, we could get an opportunity for council as a whole to explore some of these upgrades. Some of them are coming to life now, and then we would get another one as we move closer to the games. But there's some amazing upgrades to see, especially at Eastlink Center, that you can physically see now, and they're quite impressive. So we're very happy about that. And also working on the joint management agreement with Eastlink Center, which will also fall under the finance department. But there's also some great impacts there from, it's because the Eastlink Center is an entertainment and event venue, it very much impacts our committee as well. Friendly reminder, Van Gogh PEI will open up on August the 5th through September the 5th. Again, this is spectacular for Charlottetown, mostly reserved for metropolitan cities. We're likely the smallest city to have this event. It's at the Convention Center. I just met this past weekend with the event right holders in Ottawa. They're quite excited. Events ticket sales went well, but it's predominantly driven by word of mouth. So once tickets start selling and people are taking photos, it will take off. So you need to get down to see that show at the Convention Center. And then finally, we're continuing to work on our sport tourism strategy, which the committee is aware, and we hope to wrap that up probably by the end of August, early September.
Jeepers. Lots of information, really busy. Is there any questions for Wayne?
No, but your worship, well, you might be your worship. Madam Chair, I just want to thank you for moving the meeting ahead because of prior commitment for all that. And, but Wayne and Laurel, fantastic work. Thank you.
Your worship, did you have something?
Madam Chair, I'm just wondering, Wayne, for the updates to the our joint facilities, Eastlink, Bell Alliance Center, you talked, I think you spoke several months ago about the center clock. Is that, what's the timeline to replace it or to upgrade it?
Yeah, so your worship, council as a part of the current fiscal we're in approved capital funding for the Eastlink Center to upgrade several of their digital assets, and one of them being a digital clock at Eastlink Center. So Coles, who's overseeing the infrastructure projects at that venue right now, are looking for a power source to locate there. So when you move to digital, you need a greater power outlet because it's 4 video screens essentially. So that's the first part of it. Secondly, Coles is about to issue an RFP on behalf of the Eastlink Center. The timeline hinges around the winning bid. So there are some Canadian companies that can turn around the clock in a quicker manner. There's US companies who are more well known who may take a bit longer given demands on their inventory and flows of their products. So it likely will take anywhere, I'm going to say, from September through December timeline. We'll have a better idea once we know who the winning RFP is.
And Wayne, does that fall under their capital? I'm just looking at the capital budget. Does it fall under the Eastlink, or does it fall under the City of Charlottetown capital program, capital budget?
It falls under the City of Charlottetown's capital program, which was approved directly for the Eastlink Center. I don't have the envelope amount in front of me, but it's in the $900 and some odd $1,000 range.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to move into closed session as per section 119(1) subsection E of the PEI Municipal Government Act to discuss a matter still under investigation. Moved by Councillor Ramsey, seconded by Mayor Brown. We will